Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, Sports 1140 KHTK. We'll get right to it. Huge show today. Dante, see, I could never do that. I could never do that. It's so weird.
I thought you had a meeting with some people.
Right? No, the smart people always say they have a term they use, and I'll abbreviate it for you. It's called GTF. Now, I'm not going to say what that means, but the point
Watch the throne.
No, the G as in good. G.
No, I said guach.
Oh, guach. I'm sorry. I said, guach. That's what you would do. Like guacamole. Everything. Guach. Guac the foam. The foam. Yeah, they want you to get right to it, basically. Get down to business. I'll tell you off the air. Just move on. Anyways, so they say, get into your segment. People want to hear exactly what you're talking about. Get in, get to the point. Build your story arc. Get out of the segment on time. Promote what's coming up next. Throw down a tease. Soft promotion, hard promotion, delayed promotion, coming up tomorrow, coming up this Thursday, coming up
Sam
next.
Amick.
Yeah, right. Sam Amick coming up this Thursday at 8:05. You're not going to want to miss that. Here's a plug for the Facebook page. When you come back, we'll tell you why Mike McCarthy.
The Drive on KHTK is a Facebook page, by the way.
That. And in 4 minutes, we'll tell you why Mike McCarthy did not have a mustache and did that get him fired. And one of my favorite things to do, and I really need to do more of this, is go to break. And as we go to break, be like, did Chris Webber say Sacramento was the worst town he ever played in? We'll tell you next right here on Sports 1140 KHTK. Go to break, come back, welcome into the Drive. No, he never said that, and then just move on. That should be every tease we do. Did Dave Yeager say he wants to wear flip-flops for the rest of the year or he's quitting? We'll let you know in 3 minutes after these words from Capital Casino. Welcome back to the Drive.
Hey, we don't need any made-up Dave Yeager drama.
That is a great point right there. Hey, welcome in. 339-1140. 1-800-920-1140. You can text us on the Jiffy Lube text line at 441140. Joe Philbin, what is his title?
Interim head coach.
What?
Interim head coach?
I thought I heard that.
Interim head coach?
Yes. You said like interim.
Interim.
Interim?
Interim?
Interim.
In the interim head coach?
Everybody has words, this is my belief, and I too have them, that you read, and you read them a certain way.
Yeah.
And you struggle with them.
I just mispronounce it because I never say it out loud, yeah.
Interim.
I had that. So the word akin.
Mm-hmm.
I had a buddy growing up
Aiken?
named his last name was Aiken.
Sure, like Clay.
And so the first time I read akin, I just read Aiken.
Aiken.
And so that's how I said it, and nobody ever corrected me until you did on the show. So thanks.
I'm not doing it to be a D-bag.
No, I understand.
I
understand exactly what you're doing.
It's like you had a verbal booger in your nose.
Yes. And I would much rather you do that than have me walk around saying interim.
Do you ever read this in a book? Sorry for you guys.
I don't know.
No. What does it say?
How
would you read this out loud?
I don't know.
Right, correct. I don't know. The letter I, space D-U-N-N-O, which is like a way of somebody saying, I don't know.
Like, I don't know, but lazily.
Right. Up until I was like 30, I read it as I dunno, and I didn't know what it meant. And then I was reading out loud in something somehow, somewhere. Only 30. No, it was in my 20s because it was an ex-girlfriend of mine that corrected me. I'm married 12 years. And she's like, what'd you say? I said, I don't know. And I instantly knew I was screwed. She goes, dude, I didn't know. I don't know. I used to, here, let me give you another one here. Hey, you can watch all this.
This is great. Watch Dave write things.
You can watch me write
Very
things.
compelling.
Sorry, it's going to be a kind of a bad word here, but.
Oh,
don't say it out loud, but you know what that means?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
I thought that said
the male child of
and I thought it was I forget how I pronounced it. There was also the same girlfriend that corrected me thought that people were calling each other dumb basses, as in the fish.
Huh. That's interesting. How do you not? I guess I'm wondering how you don't take context clues on those.
I think you just move on. You just something in your brain just.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about your wedding, not your wedding,
please.
but your wedding that you went to.
Yeah, please. I would love to talk about that.
Wait, is that an I would love to?
No,
but
that's
I don't?
an actual I would love to.
Because here's what I know: you went to Arizona.
Yes.
And I
just
see
north of Tucson.
I see a picture of you. You went to Tucson.
North of Tucson.
Is there a Tucson? So you're north of Tucson, and I see this picture of you on Twitter, and you're in a robe,
yeah,
and you're holding a tiny Tabasco.
Yeah.
And so breaking down the picture, you were at a nice enough hotel to have robes.
Yeah.
And the tiny Tabasco, that is an alert that you ordered room service at this place.
Not even, and here's what because I wanted to save it for the air. Not even ordered room service, but filled out the placard that hangs on your door.
Yes.
That they come by and snag.
Which I used to say, by the way, since we're on the subject, placard, as in Jean-Luc. Oh. I said that up until like 5 years ago, placard. Placard, go ahead.
So we didn't even wake up and call room service and go, are we going to call room service? We just took the placard that they left at turn down service and filled it out. I ordered a homemade granola and fruit parfait because that sounded like the right thing to order.
Because it's exactly what you at your age should order.
Right. Or as they pronounce it at the Ritz, parfois. That's what you couldn't see on my robe was the Ritz-Carlton logo. Dude, we pull up in our lift. We pull up. They open the doors for us.
Yes.
I had no idea how to react. I was like, hey, don't do that. If I have to tip you money for doing this, close the door.
Close the door.
Myself.
I got you.
We walk in our travel clothes.
Sure.
So right, thank you. We walked in our travel clothes. I'm in an Under Armour baseball like quarter sleeve and
sure you are.
And jeans and my girlfriend's in like a hoodie and sweats, and we go walking in and every person was like, they were saying hello and welcome, but it was like they're disdainful.
Hello.
Like
hello. Good afternoon.
And we walk up to the check-in desk. We watched two other people check in. When they walked up, they said, name on the reservation. We walk up there and the lady goes, can I help you?
Right. What are you doing here, peasants?
Just everybody knew we weren't supposed to be there.
Are you here for the job opening?
Everybody knew we weren't supposed to be there. When the room service we ordered.
Sure. Everyone's laying down cards that are metal.
Yeah.
You're pulling it out like the First Bank Union.
The lady, I opened the door. I swear to God, dude. She looks down at the order sheet, looks at the room number, and looks at me, then looks back down at the order sheet again.
Of course.
Like I'm in, again, basketball shirt. I had not had a shirt on when she knocked, so I just grabbed this sweater I wore the night before. I'm in a sweater and basketball shorts.
Did your father make the reservation for you?
Hey, we didn't even, she set the stuff down. We immediately looked at the table because they rolled it in on a cart. Set your breakfast on the table.
Get out of here.
And then leave the cart there so you can load your dishes on and then set it outside and they'll take it for you. The first thing we did when surveying the spread was, all right, what can we legally take?
Sure.
What can we steal that we're not going to get charged for?
You have rights to all the condiments, the sugars.
We took condiments. We took...
Good, you're practicing. You're safe. That's good. Take all the condiments you need.
Yeah.
You're a young couple.
Yeah, we always use condiments.
Correct.
Every time. There was a handwritten note on the back of a postcard.
This is your last meal, peasants.
Yeah.
Sincerely, the Ritz-Carlton.
What are you doing here? We're on to you.
We should say before we go, you're staying at the Ritz-Carlton.
A 5-star Ritz-Carlton.
Moving on up.
We did that. So we did that with the lotions and the shampoos and conditioners and soaps. We took everything.
Atta baby.
Just to make sure that it was gone, so they would replenish it when they did the room cleaning.
We need more time. I need to know. Please, if you would, name your order from room service as best you can. What did you get?
I had a fruit and yogurt parfait with homemade granola.
Okay.
And an apple with homemade granola. What did I say? Granola?
You said granola.
I was going to start saying vanilla. Granola.
Okay.
Granola.
All right.
With an apple sausage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And what did she get?
She had like a traditional breakfast, like English muffin, toast.
Okay, so I need to know what it was.
English muffin,
toast.
Bacon. I think there were eggs and fingerling potatoes.
Anything to drink?
Coffee, and she had an orange juice.
Okay.
And there was an Nespresso machine in the room.
Of course there were. Let me see here. I'm going to say your bill was, for just that, including probably 18% gratuity.
20%.
20. God.
Dude, kill me, right?
I'm going to say $83.
No.
What?
I think it was like $60.
Get out of here. What, were you staying at the Costco Ritz-Carlton?
We got to go.
Good for you.
What do
you mean we got to go? You don't have to hit commercial breaks. You stayed at the Ritz.
We were fake balling all weekend, and everybody knew it.
You and your girlfriend were fake balling all weekend, and everyone knew it. We'll take a break. On that note,
we were pretending like we were rich all weekend.
Okay. That's those millennial catchphrases you have. All right. We did not get to the ratings book. We did not get to teddy bears being thrown on hockey rinks. And we did not get to what Kyle and I consider how we would be tortured if we were ever kidnapped. Because, my God, I went through it this morning when I banged my knee. Kyle and I were coming up with ways that our lives would be miserable through hitting your funny bone, banging your knee, those little hangnails you have. I banged my knee this morning. It's the worst pain I've ever been in at least a week. We do have a big show today, Kyle. Normally, we don't have guests on Monday. Today, we have guests. We have former Sacramento star, former NFL player, and a guy who's obviously been through some things. Dante Stallworth is going to join us. I want to talk about Kareem Hunt and what's going on there, and I think Dante Stallworth is uniquely qualified to talk about an NFL football player getting in trouble off the field, and I absolutely love Dante to death and what he has done with his life since going through the issues, obviously, he put himself through as an NFL player. Jason March, Kings assistant coach, will join us at 8:05. We have Cold Hard Facts with Kyle Madson, brought to you by Coors Light. That's at 8:35. Sit back, relax. We got you covered for a Monday. We'll have fun. It's Sports 1140 KHTK.
Go on the 8-eye formation behind Rosen, who takes the snap and gives it to Edmonds off the left side, trying to sprint to the corner at the 5, to the 3, into the end zone for a second touchdown. It took 30 years for a guy from Fordham to score in the NFL since Kurt Sohn in 1988, and Chase Edmonds has done it twice, and he gives the Cardinals the lead late in the third quarter.
Oh, there you go there. The Arizona Cardinals. Didn't see that coming, did we? The Cardinals go into Lambeau Field and beat Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, and that cost Mike McCarthy his job. Now, that didn't cost Mike McCarthy his job, but it was the straw that broke the Packers' back, and Mike McCarthy goes bye-bye. It's interesting. A lot of people say, long time coming, and should have been gone a while ago. And they might be right. I just find it really interesting you fire him with 5 games left in the season. They're 4-7. I don't think 9-7 is going to make the playoffs. I could be wrong. But I only say it's weird to me because he's been there so long. 13 seasons, I believe.
Yes, this is his 13th year.
And has made the playoffs 9, 10 of those 13 seasons, won a Super Bowl. That's a pretty big deal. Also, the Packers' first loss at home this year.
I think the issue becomes that I believe they made the conference championship game twice.
Mm-hmm.
He was 10-8 in the playoffs, and you have one Super Bowl, and you don't have that many prime Aaron Rodgers years left.
You don't.
And it's pretty clear that he and McCarthy have a very contentious relationship.
I think that's what it has to be.
And when you look at people go, oh, it should have happened a long time ago. Like you said, he's made the playoffs just about every year. Last year they go 7-9. They missed the playoffs. But you're not going to fire a coach who's had that much success after 1 year. But this year they fall to 4-7-1. That's pretty inexcusable, and I think the excuse they needed to get him out of there.
We'll talk more about this at 6:30. There's a lot of football stuff to come up with. A lot of teams would take Mike McCarthy's last 13 seasons and be super duper happy with it. It's just how does Marvin Lewis have a job and Mike McCarthy doesn't? I guess that's my perpetual question. How does that happen? But different franchises operate different ways, and maybe that's why Cincinnati's not known as Title Town. Number 2.
Chiefs 3rd down and goal to go at the 2. Mahomes with the snap. Fires a bullet wide open in the back of the end zone. Touchdown! Kansas City! Chris Conley on the catch as Mahomes fires a strike right over home plate and into the heart of the Raiders.
Not your Holmes. Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. Good game for him. 4 touchdowns. No picks. I don't want to sound condescending, but please keep in mind I'm rooting for a team that is as bad probably as the Raiders and the 49ers, so I'm not being condescending. Good for Oakland.
I just beat the Raiders 34-3, Dave.
Oakland made this a game.
When it was it 33 to 16 at one point? The Chiefs were up multiple touchdowns. They were covering 15 points.
Yes, they were.
And I checked out of that game. I went, all right, that game's over. But the Raiders showed more fight in that game than they have, I feel like, really all year against a good team.
Yeah.
And that's such a positive sign for them. Like, if you're a Raider fan and you're looking for anything, the fact that enough guys still care that they put up a fight against the Chiefs in that game is a big deal.
17-7 in that quarter for the Raiders, the fourth quarter. And it was actually 14-0 until Chris Conley got a pass from Mahomes with a $1.54 left in the quarter. So they made it a bit of a game. Good for them. Obviously, Raider fan doesn't care. They lost. We'll get to more of that, too, at 6:45, number 3.
How long will they wait before they go? Shumpert, first of all, you got to make a successful inbounds pass. He does to De'Aaron Fox. So the countdown begins. Fox goes strong, gets into the lane. Here's the flip and the floater, no good. Stick back, Willie Cauley-Stein. Kings take the lead on the perfectly timed follow-up. 1:11, 1:10, Sacramento. Still 16.1 seconds to go as Nate McMillan now calls timeout.
Talk about this at 7 a.m. Also, Kings assistant coach Jason March on at 8:05. We'll review that game. We'll also look ahead to this road trip and how things seem to be a little better here in Sacramento. 11-11. That's better than 10-11, I say. 500 going out on the road, and they're taking on Phoenix, a Phoenix team that maybe without Devin Booker, who kind of irked his hamstring last night against the L.A. Lakers. All right, when we come back, the Pats fire Mike McCarthy. We got to cover this Kareem Hunt thing.
The Packers fired Mike McCarthy.
What'd I say?
Pats.
Oh, I think I said Pack.
There was an S.
Packs?
Yeah.
Green Bay fires Mike McCarthy. Kareem Hunt, we have to address that. And Adam Thielen, who I feel should be or probably will be a Patriot someday, he and Bill Belichick yelled at each other, and everyone's freaking out about that. And then if we have time, we'll get to Odell Beckham Jr. White Grant can't stand him, and he probably gave him a decent reason yesterday on that onside kick. Yeah. So drive back in a couple. Sports 1140 KHTK.
It's Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Bay Area race for the number 1 pick in the 2019 NFL Draft continued yesterday. The Raiders and 49ers both lost, moving both teams to 2-10. Oakland had a nice fourth quarter against the Chiefs, but their comeback fell short. They lost 40-30, while the Niners, they didn't mount any kind of comeback in a 43-16 loss against Seattle. It was the 9th consecutive win for the Seahawks over the 49ers. San Francisco still holds the strength of schedule tiebreaker over Oakland, though, and would have the number 1 pick if the season ended today. So that's right. Their head-to-head matchup does not matter.
They kind of mounted a comeback. They got within two scores. They got within 16.
No, they did not.
They didn't. I thought. Oh no, they were
got
going
within 18.
If they went for the 2 and they
right.
didn't get it.
They failed miserably.
It's like almost comeback. No. And Kyle Shanahan got
Dave,
teed up.
They lost by 27 points.
Yeah, but it was a strong 20. Okay.
Nick Mullins threw for 400 yards.
Thank you.
And a tough loss for the red and gold.
Best performance in Seattle since UC Davis's JT O'Sullivan, by the way.
Wow, where'd you find that out?
I
More on
follow
that.
some kid on Twitter.
More on that on Cold Hard Facts.
You're a moron.
Mike McCarthy got fired as well yesterday after the Packers lost to the Cardinals 20-17. It's 6:32. Peak Financial wants to talk retirement. Dial pound 250 and say the word money.
Money.
Those are your top stories. Now back to the drive on Sports 1140 KHGK.
Here we go. The drive continues now.
I'm not going to act like I know what the hell I'm going to do tomorrow when they get in here. So we're going to do what we always do. We're going to represent the Packers the right way. I know that. So other than that, we'll focus on what's in front of us.
Saddest job interview ever there, by the way.
That was Mike McCarthy. That was Mike McCarthy post-game, after the game, before he knew that he was fired.
What you don't see in that audio is that he goes, when I get in here tomorrow, he stares right at the camera. When I get in here tomorrow, I'm going to represent the Packers the right way.
No, you're not. No, you are. Hey, Mike. No.
Packers ownership watching that, like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oy.
Ownership's off screen with their soundboard going, okay, Mike, yeah. We'll get to you in a second.
In the back. No.
No.
Does he really think that?
Let me. I want to hear this again.
I'm not going to act like I know what the hell I'm going to do tomorrow when they get in here. So we're going to do what we always do. We're going to represent the Packers the right way. I know that. So
he talks like his saliva glands produce Smuckers.
Hey, what's wrong with that? Going up against people that maybe have a little too much saliva?
No, I'm talking about the little blur in his voice. You don't have that.
You know who could be his son, right? This guy.
I feel that I didn't quite hold up my end of the bargain as the sort of orchestrator of the offense out there on the field, and didn't get the ball to the open guy enough, didn't do the simple things enough.
Put the lotion in the end zone. He threw 52 times and didn't throw a touchdown.
Yeah, this was a weird weekend in football. It really was weird.
Very odd.
You had the Giants beat the Bears.
The Bears.
I didn't expect that way.
In a game where 2 touchdown passes were thrown by non-quarterbacks.
Yes. It was awesome.
A defensive lineman scored a rushing touchdown in that game.
Any of that coming up in Kyle Madson's Cold Hard Facts?
No.
Okay.
Yes, actually. Sort of.
I thought so.
Sort of.
Yeah, this was weird. The Cardinals go into Lambeau and beat the Packers. Again, the Packers were undefeated at home this year. They had a tie.
Losing in December is not a thing the Packers are known for historically.
No.
Losing to a rookie quarterback on a 2-win team at home in December is an unforgivable sin.
Would you have picked the Ravens over the Falcons in Atlanta?
No, I took the Falcons to cover 1.5.
Okay, so I would have too. Wouldn't have picked the Cardinals over Packers.
I need to stop believing that the Falcons are good.
Yeah, that ship sailed. Of course, they're going to win out now. Watch.
Yeah.
Not that this is a huge upset, but the Bills lost to the Dolphins in Miami by 4.
4-point spread there.
Bears got beat by the Giants. And by the way, Bears got beat by the Giants after they got an onside kick in which Odell Beckham Jr. is getting a lot of blowback because he didn't dive for it. And people are questioning. You know, I saw our guy, Grant Napier, who is not a fan of OBJ, get on him. And looking at the replay, it does look rough. Like, you gotta get on the ground, dude. But also, they're not even close to winning without Odell Beckham Jr., so it's a tough way to go. He had a great game.
Correct, but that in a large picture of the game, that pixel that is messed up is a pretty bad blemish.
Well, Odell Beckham Jr. says, do not question his heart, Kyle.
I could dive in there and still not get the ball. So, it was a very tough call. Nobody should ever question my effort or my heart. That's the last thing you could do. You can question me as a person, as a man, whatever you want to do, but my heart and my effort can never be questioned, ever.
I just want to replay the first part of this real quick. Listen to the first thing he says.
I could dive in there and still not get the ball.
But, spoiler, you could dive in there and get the ball.
So he's saying in that split-second instant that he calculated, there's no chance I'm getting this.
Right.
I'm not even going to try.
Well, he even said I could not. He didn't say if I had dove in there. Yes, it's a word. No, it's not. If I had dived in there, diveth, I wouldn't I wouldn't have gotten the ball. No, he said I could have and still not. But Odell, here's the thing. You could have dived in there and gotten the ball. Let's find out. I feel like Giants fans with that are very that I don't know why, but for some reason when I heard that quote, I started thinking, because everything relates back to the Kings for me. That's how I feel sometimes when Willie Cauley-Stein does not go up for the contested rebound, does not take the charge, does not try to block the shot. Like, just try.
With sports, it's so hard because as fans, we don't know. Like, we don't play at that level. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, effort. Like, not trying is the biggest sin to a sports fan, I think.
I completely agree.
Cam Newton not diving for the fumble in the Super Bowl, like he still gets killed for that,
and should, and sometimes, and at least if you come out and say I made a mistake.
Nobody has ever gotten ridiculed for not getting a fumble when diving for it.
I think you're gonna say nobody ever gets ridiculed for hustling, and I agree with you, and that's kind of my philosophy. But then for some reason, I start thinking of. Who was the guy on the Pistons who got killed by DeAndre Jordan? Not Kemba Walker. Brandon Knight, thank you. I always think about the guys who get posterized. Like that's diving for the fumble. That's diving for the onside kick. It's when you get on a poster and you get killed by a guy dunking on you. Right. At least you tried.
Right.
You didn't duck out of the picture and walk away because you don't want to be on a poster.
There's just no posters of fumble recoveries.
Right. It should be. Would you have guessed the Buccaneers beating your Panthers at home?
No, and the Panthers are another team that I'm done believing in. They lost 4 in a row, dude.
You were done with the Panthers, I thought, like 2 weeks ago.
I was. When they lost to the Lions, that was bad.
Ron Rivera wasn't happy.
Ron, are you concerned about your job security?
Ron was just asked. That's tough audio. Ron, are you concerned about your job security?
Ron, are you concerned about your job security?
I am not going to address that question. Do not ask that question again, please.
What is this thing lately where
Kevin Durant did it too?
Yeah.
Don't ask me that again.
And I'm not Billy Badass, and I'll be honest, there's a 50-50 shot. I could ask the question again and not get it answered. I'd be like the Odell Beckham Jr. of reporters. I'm not trying to say like Stephen A. Smith, I wish I was in there. But that's your Ron and Kevin and all other people trying to order media around. Let me remind you something. The media can be lame and dumb and foolish and dramatic. Don't get me wrong. You're paid by fans who buy tickets, who pay for parking, who buy things that are sponsored on the commercial breaks. The media should be serving those fans and are asking questions of athletes and coaches for the fans. They are the conduit. Now, if you don't want to address that, I really don't want to get into that right now. That's obviously a job. That's something above me.
We're focused on getting this football team right.
We're on to Cincinnati. Right. When did it become okay for athletes and coaches to tell the media members what they can and can't ask? Dude, middle finger guy, I'll ask you what I want, and you don't have to answer it.
If a reporter asks, hey, Ron, tough loss today. Why do you prefer chunky peanut butter over creamy? And he went, don't ask me that again. Like, we can talk about my food.
Which I agree. It is a controversial topic.
It absolutely isn't worth discussing, but maybe not in that setting. But she asked a very pertinent question. And to say, don't ask me that again, that's trash. Don't do that.
We'll take a break. When we come back, bad weekend for Bay Area football, unless you're looking at the upcoming draft. So there were some bright spots there. We still have to get to why Adam Thielen and Bill Belichick yelled at each other. And we'll tell you what happened to Mike McCarthy that has only happened to one other coach in NFL history yesterday. We'll explain what we mean next on The Drive. Sports 1140 KHTK. We'll talk Kings at 7:05. Not only their win against the Pacers, but let's take a look at the upcoming road trip. Dante Stallworth, former Sacramento Star, former Patriot, former Tennessee Vol, and a guy who has obviously been through some things, as you well know. He's going to come on at 7:35. I want to talk to him about a couple of things. Obviously, the Kareem Hunt incident. That'll be our way of covering it by talking to a guy who I think can speak to getting in trouble as an NFL player. And hopefully Kareem Hunt can spend the rest of his life as Dante has after his incident. Jason March, Kings assistant coach, at 8:05. I said to you before the break, Mike McCarthy, something happened to him yesterday that has only happened to one other coach in NFL history. Mike McCarthy became only the second coach with a Super Bowl win to not finish a season that he started, joining Don McCafferty of the 1972 Colts. I was a little surprised that they fired Mike McCarthy during the season. That's I'm not surprised. Sometimes you can only turn over the whiteboard. You can only flip the Gatorade bucket so many times in the locker room before it gets old, especially when you have guys like Aaron Rodgers who've been there forever with you. Just surprised me that they did that at this point of the season. As far as last night, if you didn't catch the Sunday Night Football game, what a game between the Chargers and Steelers at Heinz Field. What an ending, too, with 3 consecutive offside situations. And the first one, the kick got missed. And then the second, third, they were just going offsides. They didn't care. The Chargers overcame a 16-point deficit to beat the Steelers 33-30. It's Pittsburgh's largest blown lead. Was this one of your stats?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah, but no, keep going. It's a 6 o'clock hour.
Did you say it was when we just talked about it? How did I miss that?
Hey, no, it's fine. Cold Hard Facts coming up at 8:30.
It is, and I just went over with Kyle. I wanted to make sure I wasn't stealing any of his facts, and then what happens? The second thing I read, I'm stealing his facts. That's all. I'll get you a replacement Cold Hard Fact. I will take that under my that's my job now. I'm going to submit to you a new Cold Hard Fact because I'm stealing yours.
I'll just read this one because it's not till 8:30.
Everybody listens for 3 hours.
Exactly.
They overcame a 16-point deficit, the Chargers did, to beat the Steelers 33-30. It's Pittsburgh's largest blown lead since November 8th, 1981 against the Seahawks when they led by 18. Now, here's what's crazy. The Steelers, going into this game, when having a 16-point lead or more at home, were 174-0-1. They had never lost in 175
Bananas.
situations. What about them? I like bananas.
Sorry, I didn't know my mic was on. I was ordering something.
How about that? I hope you don't have this one either. Entering last night, the Chargers had attempted just 2 two-point conversions in their last 10 games combined. And they were 2 for 2 last night. I was waiting for you to say something. Kyle's looking at his paper, and I heard him I thought I heard you begin to say something, so I paused. That was. I just threw a pass into the third row.
If you're the Steelers, you know the Chargers can't find a kicker who can make a kick. Why are you even bothering to go after him? Like, line up like you're going to, make him think.
Sure.
And then as soon as the ball snapped, just hang out.
Yeah, in fact, they were so offsides during the third kick that the player, I forget his name, actually flew by the kicker before he kicked the ball. He actually dove for the ball and flew by, and then the ball was kicked. That's how offsides he was.
Pump fake.
Tough go-around. Do you remember when the Chargers were moving down the field? Do you remember the Phillip Rivers dump-off to Keenan Allen for about 7 yards? It was on the final drive when they were trying to set up for the field goal.
Not specifically.
With I think, under a minute left. Rivers hits Keenan Allen. I think it was a 7-yard gain. Then they ran the ball a couple times, and then they went through all the field goal stuff. That cost me my FanDuel league by 0.08 points because the guy had Keenan Allen. And all of you should care, by the way. All of you should care about my bad fantasy beat. 0.08, dude.
That's tough.
The Giants won. The Cardinals won. And the Niners and Raiders both lost. So there's some separation now. Although the New York Jets, who currently still have their head coach,
somehow,
they've lost 6 in a row. They are trying hard to get in. Well, they're in the race now.
Remember when they killed the Lions in week 1?
Sure. Sam Darnold, baby. The Raiders and Niners are both 2-10. The Cardinals now 3-9, tied with the Jets. Here's something weird to see. There are 5 teams at 4-8, and one of them is the Falcons. That's so crazy.
Yeah, just very odd.
Very, very odd. I mean, I see the Bills, the Giants, I see the Lions.
All those teams make sense at 4-8.
Yeah, but 2 of the teams that are at 4-8. Now, listen, I know this is a huge stretch, but if you'd have told me before the season started, if you'd have said, "Hey, you know who's going to be in the Super Bowl?" It was going to be the Super Bowl. Dude, it's crazy. It's going to be the Falcons and the Jaguars. Now, I would have been very surprised, but I wouldn't have been like, "You're on drugs, no chance."
Yeah.
No, I could see that as like the 30th most likely Super Bowl combination, but still realistic.
Sure.
They're both 4-8. And the
It doesn't help that a bunch of the Falcons' best defenders have been hurt, but
I think it does. It helps. The more that they're hurt, the better, Kyle. And how about you? We're talking about all these surprise wins over the weekend or losses, whichever way you want to look at it. Yeah, I totally had the Jaguars going into Indianapolis and winning 6-0.
Shutting them out.
Yeah, I had that. Who didn't? Who didn't
Just
have
a
that?
Bizarre, very, very odd week.
As we go to break, you said something earlier.
And the week started with the Saints losing to the Cowboys
getting
in
shut
Dallas.
out in the first half.
Yeah.
Something that I very much love about football. You get at least one of these weeks every single year. Every year this happened. And as you said this earlier, Kyle, I want to pick back up on it as we go to break. This could be your stat of the day. Andrew Luck threw 52 times for 248 yards and no touchdowns. How do you do that?
That's wild.
52. Kyle, I could throw for 52. I could throw 52 times and at least get a couple touchdowns.
Hey, breaking NFL news.
Oh.
We'll get to it when we come back.
Oh!
That's called a tease.
Wow. We'll talk Sacramento Kings as well, but before that, we'll get Kyle's breaking NFL news.
NBA news.
Yeah, that too. Oh, NBA news?
Yeah.
Breaking?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the drive. Back in a couple. Sports 1140 KHTK.